I woke up to a miracle today. Triggers fade as I find my way. No judgment to lead astray. In this peaceful state I'll stay.
Welcome to A Course in Miracles in Practice. We're here to look closely at the workbook lessons and see how they fit into our sometimes chaotic daily lives.
Today we're focusing on Lesson 310. In Fearlessness and Love I Spend Today. This one is definitely advanced. It's really asking us to step into a completely different way of experiencing a whole day.
Not just managing time.
Right, not at all. It's about spending it consciously with God, not feeling like we're navigating everything by ourselves.
So our goal today is exploring what this commitment really entails, especially coming after months of practice with the Course.
And looking at why the Course presents this state, this fearlessness, as the natural way to be.
We hope you, listening, can reflect on your own path with the workbook as we discuss this one. It's quite a shift.
It is.
And before we jump into the lesson itself, just a reminder, you can always share your experiences or questions. Email us at acim@theworldharmonyproject.org.
Or find us on social media, The World Harmony Project. We do appreciate hearing from you.
Okay, let's get to the reading of Lesson 310.
I'll read the first part. Lesson 310. In fearlessness and love I spend today. This day, my Father, what I spend with you, as you have chosen all my days should be. And what I will experience is not of time at all. The joy that comes to me is not of days nor hours, for it comes from heaven to your Son. This day will be your sweet reminder to remember you, your gracious calling to your Holy Son, the sign your graces come to me, and that it is your will I be set free today.
We spend this day together, you and I, and all the world joins with us in our song of thankfulness and joy to Him who gave salvation to us and who set us free. We are restored to peace and holiness. There is no room in us for fear today, for we have welcomed love into our hearts.
You can immediately sense a different quality here compared to the early lessons, can't you?
Absolutely. In the beginning, it was so much about questioning our perceptions.
Noticing projection, asking, what does this mean? Am I seeing this correctly?
But this lesson speaks from a place of readiness to actually spend a whole day in the state of fearlessness and love.
It assumes a certain groundwork has been laid, which makes sense, being Lesson 310. That's 10 months of practice.
Right. Those early lessons were crucial for loosening the ego's grip, its interpretation of the world.
Undoing the belief that the meanings we assigned were fixed or true.
Now the focus shifts. It's less about seeing differently in isolated moments and more about living differently, sustainingly.
Moving into experiencing that timeless awareness the earlier lessons pointed towards.
Let's look at that first line again. This day, my Father, what I spend with you, as you have chosen all my days should be.
Spending the day with God. That completely reframes what a day even is.
It stops being about managing tasks, deadlines, worries.
And becomes about companionship.
Presence.
The whole structure of an ego-driven day based on scarcity and problems just kind of dissolves in that intention.
And it's interesting how it uses the word day, a time-based concept.
While saying the experience isn't about time at all, what I will experience is not of time at all. The joy that comes to me is not of days nor hours. That feels very much like the Course providing a practical container. We live in a world structured by clocks and calendars.
So we practice timelessness within that familiar frame of today. It makes it accessible.
It's asking for a choice that goes beyond the sequence of events. The joy, the presence, they aren't earned hour by hour.
They're accessed in the holy instant.
And that instant is always here, now.
So spending today with God is really about committing to re-accessing that instant again and again throughout the day.
Making sure each moment, as it arises, is met from that decision.
Which connects directly back to Lesson 308, doesn't it?
And good.
Only this instant is real.
Exactly. It's about staying present with God now, rather than letting the mind drift into rehearsing the past, which brings guilt, or projecting into the future, which brings fear.
And let's be honest, that's a significant challenge, even deep into the workbook.
Oh, absolutely.
You can start the morning with such sincere commitment, feeling the truth of the lesson.
And then maybe an hour later, something small throws you off. An email, a comment.
And suddenly, that commitment feels distant. The anxiety or irritation takes over.
The Course is definitely raising the bar here at Lesson 310. It's asking for a sustained experience, not just those fleeting moments of clarity we found earlier.
And the immediate temptation when we notice we've drifted into fear or worry is often guilt.
Thinking, oh, I blew it. I failed the lesson for today.
But the practice at this stage isn't about achieving some kind of perfect, unbroken 16-hour stretch of bliss. That's not it.
No, the real practice is in the return. How quickly, how gently can you come back to the intention?
When you notice the fear, the judgment, that internal shift, the practice is simply to stop.
Remember the commitment. Right, I'm spending today with God.
And then just return, realign yourself to that choice in this present moment.
It's a gentle, immediate course correction, over and over.
The lesson itself becomes that anchor, that touchstone throughout the day.
Yes. It reminds you that the choice you made at 7 a.m. is still available at 11 a.m. or 3 p.m. or whenever you notice you've wandered.
Time might have passed on the clock, but the opportunity to choose again hasn't changed. It's always now.
And the lesson describes this so beautifully. This day will be your sweet reminder to remember you.
So the day itself, everything that happens, it stops being potential problems.
It becomes a series of cues, invitations.
That unexpected phone call, the person you interact with, even a quiet moment alone.
Each one becomes an opportunity to remember God's presence, to choose the holy instant again. The Course repurposes everything.
Let's also look closely at that pairing. In fearlessness and love I spend today.
They're presented together as a single state, not two separate goals.
Because metaphysically, according to the Course, love and fear can't coexist. They're mutually exclusive choices.
And in any given moment, you're choosing one or the other. There's no middle ground.
So fearlessness isn't just a passive absence of fear.
It's the active, inevitable state that is present when you deliberately choose not to engage with fear.
And what remains when fear is relinquished.
Love, God's presence,
Yeah.
your natural state.
So if you are genuinely spending the day centered in love, welcoming love, fear simply has no place to enter. It can't gain traction.
This requires a certain kind of discipline. Not effortful discipline, but discipline in alignment, staying aligned with the choice for love.
Which is precisely why all the preparatory work in the workbook is so essential for a lesson like 310.
All those months spent practicing forgiveness.
Which is the Course's tool for choosing love over fear, seeing past illusions.
Practicing seeing innocence, looking beyond the ego's judgments in ourselves and others.
Learning to distinguish the ego's voice from the Holy Spirit's guidance.
Without that foundation, trying to live a whole day in fearlessness and love would feel abstract, maybe impossible.
But by lesson 310, you've built up that spiritual capacity. You can recognize fear more quickly.
And you know the remedy, forgiveness. Applying it allows the return to love.
So lesson 310 feels like maybe a culmination, a chance to apply everything learned in a continuous way throughout a day.
Let's think about what this companionship means in really difficult circumstances. Situations with deep uncertainty.
Okay, like maybe facing a major career upheaval, losing a job, unsure what comes next, that kind of thing.
Or perhaps dealing with a sudden, serious health concern, something that changes your whole outlook.
In those situations, often the hardest part is that feeling of dread when you wake up, the sense of facing it all utterly alone.
That fear can be paralyzing. The feeling that you alone have to figure it all out, manage everything.
And that's where this lesson offers such profound comfort. We spend this day together, you and I.
It directly addresses that feeling of isolation. It says, you don't have to navigate this uncertainty, this fear, by yourself.
It shifts the experience from a solitary burden to a shared journey. God is with you in it.
Because the core of that deep anxiety isn't always the circumstance itself, but the ego's insistence that you are separate, abandoned, and solely responsible for controlling an uncontrollable future.
Spending the day with God directly refutes that illusion of abandonment. The companionship is constant. Your safety isn't dependent on your plans working out.
And notice the immediacy of the freedom offered. It is your will, will I be set free today.
Right. Freedom isn't postponed until the circumstances change, until the problem is solved.
Freedom is available right now.
Yeah.
It's the choice, this instant, to be present with God instead of lost in fear about what might happen.
That connects to the nature of the joy mentioned too. The joy that comes to me is not of days nor hours, for it comes from heaven to your Son.
This joy is non-circumstantial. It doesn't arrive because things are going well externally.
It's not dependent on the job situation resolving or the health news improving.
It's constantly available because its source is heaven and it's inherent in your being as God's Son. And God's will is your happiness, always.
So accessing that joy, even amidst difficulty, is about aligning with your true nature, which is joy. Fearlessness allows that natural state to surface.
The external situation might still need practical steps, actions in the world.
Of course, the Course doesn't advocate passivity in that sense.
But those actions can be taken from a place of inner peace and trust, rather than driven by panic and fear, because the underlying joy isn't threatened.
And that commitment. There is no room in us for fear today, for we have welcomed love into our hearts.
That's a powerful statement of intent. It's about setting priorities for your inner space.
It doesn't mean fear might not knock on the door, so to speak. Thoughts of fear might still arise.
But it means we don't have to invite fear in, give it a seat, and let it dominate the house.
We consciously choose to welcome love instead. We recognize the fear thought and replace it with forgiveness, with presence, with the reminder, I am with God.
You know, for many of us, fear operates like a deep habit.
An automatic mental reflex.
Something unexpected happens, maybe even something minor, like a strange sound in the house at night or an ambiguous text message.
And the mind just snaps into that familiar pattern of worry, anxiety, projecting worst-case scenarios.
Lesson 310 offers a direct way to practice interrupting and replacing that habit.
By starting the day with a clear, conscious intention. Today is different. Today I spend in fearlessness and love with God.
And then using every trigger, every moment fear tries to creep in as a chance to reinforce the new pattern of returning to peace.
Consciously substituting peace for anxiety, moment by moment, until peace becomes the more familiar state.
And then the lesson broadens the scope immediately. All the world joins with us in our song of thankfulness and joy.
This isn't just a private practice for our own benefit.
The Course is always reminding us of the oneness of the Sonship. When one of us chooses fearlessness and love, it resonates through the whole.
At the level of mind, we are all interconnected.
So when you successfully choose love over fear in any given moment, you're making that choice easier for everyone else too. Your willingness to spend the day with God becomes an act of service, a contribution to the atonement, the correction of the belief in separation. There's a profound simplicity in the request of Lesson 310, especially after navigating some of the more complex metaphysical ideas earlier in the workbook.
It really boils down to, spend today with me, just be with me.
Let love replace fear, that's all.
Simple, yes, but not necessarily easy in practice, is it?
Not always. Because the ego thrives on complexity. It loves problems, grievances, future worries, intricate stories.
It constantly tries to pull us back into that maze.
So returning to the simple presence of God, just being with Him, requires vigilance, a gentle but consistent vigilance against the pull of confusion. And notice the emphasis on grace. The day is your gracious calling, the sign your grace has come to me.
Choosing to spend the day in fearlessness and love is simply our act of accepting that grace which is already given, opening the door to it.
Which leads beautifully into the closing lines about restoration. We are restored to peace and holiness.
Fearlessness and love aren't states we have to manufacture or achieve through struggle.
They are our inherent nature, what we are.
Restoration happens when we simply stop choosing fear, stop blocking the awareness of our true state.
Peace and holiness naturally shine through when the obstacles are removed.
So this day, spent in fearlessness and love, is intended as a space for that remembering we are loved, safe, whole, and free right now.
So wrapping up our thoughts on Lesson 310, the core instruction is clear. Dedicate the entire day to companionship with God.
And the result of that dedication is experiencing fearlessness and love, which are simply what remain when fear isn't given space.
This practice builds on all the previous work, especially forgiveness and recognizing innocence, allowing us to actually live in that timeless awareness the Course talks about.
And remember, the joy and peace this lesson promises aren't dependent on circumstances. They come from heaven, available whenever we welcome love.
And finally, making this choice is a powerful act of service. Because the sonship is one, your peace extends to everyone.
Let's hold the lesson close. In fearlessness and love I spend today.
We always appreciate hearing about your practice. Feel free to email us, acim@theworldharmonyproject.org.
Or connect on social media, The World Harmony Project. Thank you for joining us in this practice.
Today I choose love instead of fear, knowing I spend this day with God.